Hello everybody, welcome back to concept building classes. Today we are going to discuss the topic of percentages. So let's start with the first problem. There are two investment schemes A and B. In scheme A, rate of interest is 10% per annum and period of maturity is 2 years. Interest is compounded annually. While in scheme B, rate of interest is 11% per annum and the amount is returned with simple interest. For what duration should I invest in scheme B so as to get the same amount in return if I had invested in scheme A? Now we will see two methods how to solve this problem. So let's start with the first method, which is the traditional method. That let's assume that I invest rupees 100 in these schemes. Then in scheme A, how much amount will I get after 2 years? I will get 100, which is the principal amount, into 1 plus R by 100. Here R or rate of interest is 10%. So 10 by 100 is zero point 0.1. So 1 plus zero point 0.1 raised to power 2 because it is invested for 2 years. So if you calculate this, this becomes 121. 1.1 raised to power 2 is 1.21 into 100 is 121. Now in scheme B, how much amount will I get after n number of years? So let's say I invest in scheme B for n number of years to get the same return. In that case, the amount which I'll get after n number of years is principal amount 100 plus rate of interest, which is 11%. So 11 by 100 is 0.11 into principal amount, which is 100 rupees, which we have assumed, into n number of years. So now this amount should be equal to 121 because this is what we want, that we want to get the same amount in return if I invest in scheme A. So to get the same return, this 100 plus 11n, so 0.11 into 100 is 11, so 100 plus 11n should be equal to 121. So this gives the value of n is equal to 21 by 11 years. Now this is the straightforward traditional method which we have followed. Otherwise, we can always go through the options and find out which is the right one. So how do we do that? So now here the answer is 21 by 11 years. Now let's see how do we solve this problem using options only. Now this is what we know. Let's say we invest 100 rupees in this schemes and scheme A gives me 121 rupees after 2 years. At the end of 2 years, 121 is what I'm getting. Now here we are getting an interest of 21 rupees, right? So 100 was the principal amount and 121 is the final amount. So 21 is the interest amount which we are getting. Now if I want the same interest from scheme B, which is giving me 11% per annum simple interest, so I am earning 11 rupees per annum on a investment of 100 rupees from this scheme. So in first year I will get 11 rupees, in second year I will again get 11 rupees, which means at the end of second year my interest would be 22 rupees. First 11 rupees in first year and 11 rupees in second year. So total interest which I will earn after 2 years is 22 rupees. Now 22 rupees is slightly greater than this 21 rupees. So in scheme A, I am getting 21 rupees in 2 years, but in scheme B, I am getting 22 rupees in 2 years. So I need to invest slightly less than 2 years in scheme B to get the same amount, which is 21 rupees, which I am getting through scheme A, right? So in scheme B, I need to invest for less than 2 years if I want to get the same amount from scheme A. So let's just calculate what are the various options. So option one is, so now let's look at these options. So option one is less than 2 years. So 21 by 11 is less than 2 years. 31 by 11 is actually greater than 2 years because this is greater than 22. 19 by 7 is also greater than 2 years, and 31 by 7 is also greater than 2 years. So the only option which is less than 2 years is option A. So our answer would be A, 21 by 11 years. So we can solve this problem using this method also by checking the options. Now let's move on to the next question. In a particular car segment, only three competitors, Honda, Toyota, and Nissan, exist. In 2015-16, the sales of Toyota were 10% more than that of Honda. In a year, both Honda and Toyota increased their respective sales by 20%. In 2016-17, the sales of Toyota are 5 times that of Nissan. How much market share in percentage points did Nissan lose in 2016-17 if the total segment sales remained constant over the 2 years period? Okay, now let's see how to solve this problem. Let us assume that in 2015-16 Honda car sale was 1000 cars, right? So we have assumed that in the first year, which is 2015-16, the sales of Honda was 1000. Then in that case, the Toyota sale would be 10% more than that of Honda, which is, so this becomes 1100. Now in 2016-17, sales of Toyota and Honda both increased by 20%. So Honda sale becomes 1200. So 20% over 1000 becomes 1200, and Toyota sales becomes 20% over 1100 becomes 1320. Now in 16-17, this is also given that sales of Toyota is 5 times than that of Nissan. So Nissan sales would be 1/5 of Toyota's sale. So Nissan sale becomes 1320 by 5 is equal to 264. Now total sales in 2016-17 would be how much? Honda sale plus Toyota sale plus Nissan sale. So this becomes, when we add all three of them, this becomes 2784. Now in question it is given that the total sales remains same over the period of 2 years, which means in 2015-16 also the same number sale happened. So in 15-16 total sale should also be 2784, which is equal to Honda's sale in 2015-16 plus Toyota's sale in 2016-15-16 plus Nissan's sale in 2015-16. Now we don't know how much is Nissan's sale. We can calculate it through here. So Nissan's sale in 15-16 would be 684, which means Nissan's sale has dropped from 684 to 264 over a period of 1 year. So loss of sale of Nissan in 16-17 as compared to 15-16 is 684 minus 264, which is 420. 420 cars they sold less. Now loss of market share by Nissan. How much loss of market share is there by Nissan? So total market was of 2784 cars, out of which Nissan lost 420 cars. So 420 divided by 2784 is equal to 15%. So nearly 15% market share Nissan lost in 1 year. So our answer would be A, 15%. Now let's see what is the next question. So Jay was to get a salary hike of 40% in his pay, but the computer operator wrongly typed the figure as 70% and processed the new salary. He received this revised salary for 3 months before the operator realized his mistake. What percentage of his correct new salary will Jay get in the 4th month if the excess paid to him in the previous 3 months is to be deducted from his 4th month salary, right? So here we will assume that Jay's original salary was 100 rupees before the hike. So his correct new salary after 40% hike should be 140 rupees. But by mistake, he was getting paid 70% hike, which is 170 rupees every month. Now every month he got how much extra paid? 170 minus 140, which is 30 rupees extra every month he was getting paid extra. Now in 3 months, how much extra did he get paid? 30 rupees into 3, which is 90 rupees extra. So this 90 rupees would be adjusted in his fourth month salary. So in 4th month, this extra 90 would be deducted from his current salary of 140. So he will be paid only 140 minus 90, 50 rupees in 4th month. So how much salary is he getting as a percentage of his correct salary in 4th month? So this is equal to 50 divided by 140. So he's getting paid 50 rupees in 4th month, while his actual current salary is 140 rupees. So this is 35.7% of the current salary. This 50 rupees is 35.7%. So our answer would be C, 35.7%. Now let's move on to the next question. Monica put some money in bank and obtained an interest of rupees 15 at the end of 1 year. She added rupees 85 to this amount and put the whole amount again in the bank for 1 more year. At the end of the 2nd year, she got rupees 420 as total, which is principal plus interest. What amount did she put initially and what was the interest rate offered by the bank? Now we can solve this question using traditional method, but here the easiest method is to check the options, because this first line says that she obtained an interest of rupees 15 at the end of 1 year. Now, if she is putting 250 rupees in the bank at 5%, will she earn 15 rupees in 1 year? No, right? So what we will do, we will just check all the options. So in first option, she would get 12.5 rupees at the end of first year, while in second option, she would get 16 rupees because 200 into 8% for 1 year is 16 rupees. In third option, 5% of 300 is 15 rupees. And in fourth option, 3.5% of 350 is 12.25. So she is earning 15 rupees interest at the end of 1 year in option C only. So this is the correct option, C. So our answer would be C, 305%. Now let's move on to the next question. The owner of a cake shop follows a particular pattern for his business. During a period of inflation, he increases the price of the cake by P%, and during a slowdown, he reduces his existing price by P%. After a year in which there was inflation first followed by a slowdown, the cost of a chocolate cake decreases by rupees 180. After another year in which there was slowdown first followed by an inflation, the cost of this cake reduced by a further rupees 150. What was the original price of the chocolate cake? So in this question, we have been given 2 years data. So let's see how do we solve this question. So let's say that the original price of the cake was C and assume that small p is equal to capital P by 100. So this, he increases or decreases his rates by capital P%. So instead of P%, let's say small p is the number which is capital P by 100, right? So it would be easier for us to put the value of p in every equation. That is why we are doing this, because when you calculate the interest rate, you have to always do p by 100, interest rate by 100 or the percentages by 100. So instead of doing it by 100 every time, let's write small p is equal to capital P by 100. Now at the end of first year, price changed how much? So this was the original price C. When inflation happened, his price went up to C into 1 plus P. And when slowdown happened, then he reduces the price 1 minus P, right? So P, he reduces the price by P%. So you have to just multiply the increased price with 1 minus P. So this becomes C into 1 minus P square. So when the price is increasing, you have to multiply the original price by 1 plus P. And when price goes down, then you have to multiply the existing price by 1 minus P. So this becomes C into 1 minus P square, because 1 plus P into 1 minus P is 1 minus P square. A plus B into A minus B is equal to A square minus B square. So now the difference in original price and the new price is how much? So original price is C and new price is C into 1 minus P square. So C minus C into 1 minus P square, and this difference is 180 rupees as given in the question. Now what happens? Now if you solve it further, it gives you C into P square is equal to 180. So if you open this equation, then you get C into P square is equal to 180. Now what happens in second year? At the end of second year, price further changes because one slowdown happened, again an inflation happened. So this is the price at the end of the second year. So C into 1 minus P square, which is the price at the end of first year, or this is the price at the start of the second year. It's one and the same thing. That price at the end of first year or price at the start of second year, they are same. So C into 1 minus P square into, so slowdown happened and then inflation happened. So when slowdown happened, you multiplied with 1 minus P. When inflation happened, you multiplied with 1 plus P, because he increases the price by P%. He increases the price by P during inflation. He reduces the price by P in slowdown. That's why 1 minus P and 1 plus P here. Now, if you solve it further, you get it C into 1 minus P square into 1 minus P square, because this also becomes 1 minus P square, 1 minus P into 1 plus P. Now the difference in price is how much? So this is the price, C into 1 minus P square is the price at the start of the year, minus the price at the end of the year. This is the price at the end of the year. So the difference is 150 as given in the question. Now you just solve it further, you get it C into 1 minus P square into P square is equal to 150. Now you can always keep this value of C into P square 180 here. C into P square, instead of this you can write 180 and into, so this remains same, 1 minus P square is equal to 150. So you solve it further, you get the value of P square is equal to 1 by 6. Now we have to calculate the value of the chocolate cake original price. So we have to calculate the value of C. So if we put the value of P square as 1 by 6 here, you get the value of C, which is equal to 1080 rupees. So our answer is option D, 1080, right? So the main concept which we used here is that when price goes up, you have to multiply it with 1 plus interest rate. When price goes down, you have to multiply the original price with 1 minus interest rate, right? And then of course a plus b into a minus b is equal to a square minus b square. That is again, that is also we used. So this is how you can solve this question. Now let's move on to the next question. Hema, Pushpa and Indra start a business by investing 70,000 rupees that earns them a profit of 42,000 at the end of the year. Hema invests her share in the profit in a scheme that gives her 10% interest compounded annually, and Pushpa invests her share in a scheme that gives her 20% interest compounded annually. Hema gets rupees 2520 as interest at the end of 2 years, and Pushpa gets an interest of 4200 at the end of 1 year. Find Indira's investment in the business. Now this is a partnership question, right? Now let's say let Hema, Pushpa and Indra earn profit of H, P and I respectively. So we are using the initials of their names so that we easily remember whose profit is H, whose profit is P and whose profit is I. Now at the end of 2 years, how much Hema gets? Hema will get, so Hema is investing in a scheme at 10% interest compounded annually, and she's investing it for 2 years. So Hema will get H into 1 plus 10% or 1 plus 0.1 raised to power 2, because it is invested for 2 years. So 1.1 raised to power 2 becomes 1.21. So she is invested for 2 years. So she is getting 1.21 H at the end of 2 years, right? Compound interest at the rate of 10% in 2 years. Now, how much interest does she earn? 1.21 H minus her principal amount. So this is the interest, which is equal to 2520. So she is getting an interest of 2520. So total amount she earns is 1.21 H, and if we have to just calculate the interest, then principal has to be subtracted from the total amount, and this is equal to interest, which is 2520. So if you solve it further, you get the value of H is equal to 12,000. Now similarly, we check it for the next candidate, which is Pushpa. Pushpa gets 1.2p in 1 year. So she has invested her amount in at 20% interest rate only for 1 year at the end of 1 year. So simple interest at 20% in 1 year. So she will get 1.2p in 1 year. So p is the amount which she is investing in the bank, or is the amount which she has earned as a profit from the partnership, and she's investing it in the bank. So this is p. So she gets 1.2p in 1 year. So she will, how much interest is she going to get? 1.2p minus p is equal to 4200, right? So her interest is 4200 rupees. This is what she is earning. So 1.2p minus p is equal to 4200. So if you solve, you get the value of p is equal to 21,000. Now the total profit which three of them earned was 42,000 rupees. So it's easier to calculate how much Indra earned as profit. So Hema's profit is 12,000 rupees, Pushpa's profit is 21,000 rupees. Then how much is Indra's profit? So if we add all three of them, and so it would be equal to 42,000. So Indra's profit would be 9,000 rupees. Now their investments will be in the ratio of their profits. So in a partnership, whatever profit you earn, you divide it in the ratio of your initial investments. So their initial investments will be in the ratio of their profits. So their profits are 12,000, 21,000 and 9,000. So investment will also be in the ratio of 12,000, 21,000 and 9,000, or you can say 12 is to 21 is to 9. So 12 is to 21 is to 9. If you solve it further, it becomes 4 is to 7 is to 3. Now total initial investment was 70,000 rupees. So you divide this investment in 4 into 7 is to 3, and you get 20,000, 35,000 and 15,000 rupees. So Indra's investment in the business is 15,000 rupees, which is option C. So that's it for this particular video. If you like this video, I request you to subscribe the channel Concept Building Classes, share it with your friends, like it, comment on it, and press the bell icon to get further notification of any more videos which are posted on the channel. Thank you and happy learning.